Namaste, everyone. Michele Granberg here. Welcome to another episode of Positive Energy, bringing enlightening television for your evolving soul. If you're an animal lover like me, you're in for a treat. My guest, Sue Pike, is known as the Animal Talker. Sue is an intuitive animal communicator who speaks telepathically with animals, both living and deceased. She joins us for a fascinating discussion and real live doggy demonstration. So grab your furry friends to join you, because Positive Energy starts right now. So Sue Pike, welcome to Positive Energy.
Thank you so much, Michele, for having me.
It's really nice to have you here. So you are an animal communicator, an animal channel, an animal healer, and your mission is to give voice to as many animals as possible in order to help bridge the gap between people and animals.
Yes.
So I love and I'm on board with that mission. So what is an animal communicator, and how does animal communication bring people and animals closer to living in harmony?
So animal communication is telepathic, heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul, mind-to-mind communication. And I also, as a spirit channel, can connect to the animals' spirit guides. They have them too, just like people, and to their higher self to get information if the animal is distracted or it's an emergency situation and we need to get some answers, or sometimes they just like me channeling that way. And so when we see things from the perspective of the animal, we can start understanding where they're coming from, how they're seeing things, how they're experiencing things from their point of view, so we can then start seeing things from their point of view and bridge that gap.
Wow, so it really is connecting with them. And I know it's intuitively based and heart-based, as you say. So does that mean that technically everyone can do it?
Everybody can do it, and I actually teach people how to do it. It's really a matter of quieting your mind, opening up your heart, and really just having that heart-to-heart soul connection with your animal, which everybody does anyway. And it's really about just trusting what you're feeling.
So I know that you communicate with both domesticated animals as well as wild animals.
Yes.
So do you sense a difference? I mean, is it the same process?
It's the same process for me as far as slowing down and connecting. I tell people it's almost like a radio station, tuning into a radio station. You're dialing the dial.
Finding
and then
that frequency.
Exactly. And when I get the frequency, then I can do the communication. And the domesticated animals, you know, they want to know what's happening, what's going on.
They have different issues.
They have different issues,
right?
Exactly. You know, they're not worried about their next meal usually, you know, when they're in a good family.
So you communicate with both living and deceased, and I get animals, and I guess that's evolved with your practice.
Yes.
So what's that like? You know, what stands out in your mind about communicating with animals who are on the other side?
Well, the first thing is the weightlessness feeling. Because when I'm connecting with animals who are living, part of my process is actually going into the body and feeling what they feel. And so that can help me describe what the animal's feeling to the person. So the animals on the other side, it's this beautiful weightlessness feeling. The connection's the same. It actually happens very fast. And they talk to their people about that weightlessness feeling. And if they died from something in their lungs, they may say, I can breathe, everything's great. You know, it's so they're feeling healthy. You know, they don't have that feeling of before they crossed.
So from that, what I surmise is it's very pleasant, at least, right? The afterlife.
It's very pleasant.
Yeah.
And they're all doing different things, which I find fascinating. So some of them, they tell me they're in spirit school. Some of them are teaching other animals to go visit their people, astrally travel. So there's some animals that are just hanging out doing nothing. But it's
just
all
like
amazing.
Human spirits.
Right.
Yeah.
Soul evolvement, you know?
So let's go back, because I'm sure what might be comforting for people who have pets that are dying, getting close to that part of life. What can you tell them to bring them some comfort? What do animals generally say about dying? Is there fear or is there not fear?
Right. Well, the animals know it's part of the process. They know that death is part of life. It's not that they're so excited to die, but they don't have the fears that a lot of people have. Mm. And the biggest message they tell their people is to keep their hearts open. And so if you want your animal to transition smoothly, then give them permission to go, because they actually worry more about us than themselves passing. They really just want to make sure that we keep our hearts open and that we play more, and to honor them that way is what they really want. And then when they know that we'll be sad, but when we give them that permission, they feel more relief to be able to do it peacefully.
It's interesting that their main concern, when we're so concerned about them at that time, their main concern is us.
Yes.
And so it really again and again shows us that animals are teachers, that they are companions, that they are very spiritually evolved.
Yes.
Sometimes more than us in so many ways. So with that, is there a particular story that comes to mind for you where they taught you, or where they really taught their humans something kind of profound or surprising that stands out for you?
Well, a lot of the stories are always profound.
They all have some
nuggets. They always have some nuggets.
Profoundness.
Yeah. They'll talk about a treat or a toy or something, and then they go into a soulful message to the person, and then they're like, oh, wait, I'm in cat body. Let me just go back to the cat toy I love. But one of the most amazing stories I experienced was I went over this person's house, and his cat told me he invented Reiki. He said, I invented Reiki. And
the cat invented Reiki?
The cat
or
told
he said
me,
the human?
No, the cat told me he invented Reiki. Yeah. I said, okay. And there was
a ego there.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I'm telling you, he had his paws on top of where the dog's body was hurting. And he said, I'm working on her. I know you came over to do some Reiki, but I already started. And he had his paws on her back, and it was amazing. And so I said,
that's really cool.
I'm going to do this now. And he said, well, don't go over there because she doesn't really like it there. So he's ordering me around a little bit. It was pretty funny. That was pretty amazing to me.
And it shows, I'm sure, that animals have healing abilities. I'm sure that they're way tuned into the field.
Yes.
The unified field and universal life force energy. I'm certain of that. But it also shows that animals have personalities.
Oh, yes.
Big personalities.
Very big personalities.
They are individuals.
Yes.
They have a voice.
Yes.
And they have a way of thinking and approaching things. That's what we learn.
Yes.
So I think we know that from living. I know that from living. I know I can recognize my animals anywhere, because not just what they look like, because of their personality.
Yeah, I met a dog the other day, was such a diva. It was amazing. And then, of course, there are animals that are very shy and reserved, and they want their people to accept them for who they are. That's another thing I come across, is acceptance is a big lesson from the animals to people, because there's a woman who wanted a dog who sat on her lap because her dog didn't sit on her lap. And the dog said, I love you. I'm just not a lap dog. And so she wanted to get another dog until one sat on her lap. And he said, the message for you is acceptance. This is how I am. I love you unconditionally, and I need that from you.
It's a whole other way of looking at our animals when we ask ourselves, what are they teaching me?
Exactly.
What are the lessons here? And when we're talking about lessons, we're talking about the bigger, more underlying stuff that we're here as spirits to really learn.
Yeah, they are our mirrors back to ourselves of what we need to work on for us.
So what can you share, if it was one or maybe two quick things for people with animals, how they themselves can deepen the connection and begin to more effectively communicate back and forth with their beloved pets? How can they start? I think you're going to say go into your heart.
Yes, of course.
I say yes.
Quiet your mind. That's the first thing, is quiet your mind. So meditation is really good for that, and there's many ways to meditate. So if you can't just sit there and om, that's okay. There's many other ways to quiet the mind. Yeah. And then get into your heart and do that connection. Just imagine gold light going from your heart to your animals. And you always want to focus, concentrate, think about the behaviors that you love. So don't talk about, I hate when you pee outside the box. Don't do that, because sometimes an animal will do something because they're confusing, that they're not getting the not word. So they're seeing you, imagining them doing that behavior.
Yes.
So instead,
Because every thought is a picture.
exactly, imagine them going into the box,
Yeah.
or whatever it is that
So send them a visual of the end result
Yes,
as best you can. Send them the outcome,
yes,
head to head.
with heart energy. You can say it out loud, but you don't have to. If you think about it and imagine it, they will get it. And you know, a lot of times I'm doing a session and people say, "Oh, I thought so. Oh, I had a feeling about that." So really, it's about trusting what you're feeling, because because you're connected with your animal partner.
Yeah, we just need to pay attention. We're the ones who are living so far up in our heads and so distracted. They're communicating with us
All the
They never
time.
stop. And I know dogs make eye contact. Every dog I've ever had is just, and I know in those moments there's a communication, both non-verbally and, there's language
Yes.
between us when they're looking at me.
Always.
And those are the opportunities to really send and receive.
Right, because you don't want to try to do animal communication with your animal when they're distracted. Just like, a person's on the computer and they're typing and the phone's ringing and you're like, "Oh, hi, blah, 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 I want to talk to you." And they're,
So when they come to you and they sit in front of you, and
yeah, that's an opportune
look up at
time,
you.
yes. And
take that opportunity.
Exactly. And you can ask them for a sign. "Please tell me, I want to communicate with you better. Please give me a sign you're understanding." So a lot of times a cat might do a slow blink, or a dog may. Sometimes they'll do a bark or something. A horse will stomp, or they'll chomp or something
so
like
watch
that.
for those patterns, they're repeated.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So I know you have a practice and you do this regularly with people. Say one last thing about, you do this over the phone, you do this in person with animals, or both, I think.
I do it both, but predominantly I do my sessions remotely. And all I need is a picture of the animal and a list of questions that you want to ask. And during the session, if the animal wants it, I will offer them Reiki remotely. Most animals love it, but sometimes it's actually too much for some animals. In fact, my cat would be around Reiki energy, but he couldn't take it directly. It was too much for him. So, and also animals that have been abused, they want to know if it's going to hurt them. So I just say, "Well, let's try it, but it's up to you. And if you don't like it, I'll stop right away." So it gives them a sense of, okay, I can control this situation.
Got it.
Usually they're like, "Yes, please."
Usually, yes.
Yes.
But we have to honor their free will. It's their choice.
Exactly.
So just like with us, permission must be granted.
Exactly. And sometimes the person will be a little adamant, like, "No, I really want them to get this because blah, blah, blah."
Right.
But I'm respecting the animal.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's probably not going to work anyway.
Exactly.
They're going to kind of close off, or they're going to throw up some, static in the way.
Exactly. So it's honoring and respecting them, and that's a great message for people. They are sentient beings. They have feelings, as we all know.
Yeah.
And so just respecting them. I worked with a llama, and the first thing he said was, "I appreciate the respect my person gives me."
He sounds a lot like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
That llama.
That llama.
So it's a great, communication is communication. That's why they're really teaching us about communication, because even person to person, trust and respect are key in communication. If it's not there, how is there going to be any, basis for that communication? So speaking of communication, we're going to bring in a volunteer.
Excellent.
For you to do a demonstration and show our
Perfect.
audience how you work.
Excellent.
So, ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're joined by Sophie, the Boston Terrier, and Andrea Grace, her owner. Welcome to Positive Energy.
Thank you. Her mom.
Her mom. Much better term. Forgive me, Sophie. Your mom, of course. your guardian,
Guardian
your steward,
extraordinaire.
your
My
friend.
steward, yeah, my steward.
So you're good enough to be here so that Sue Pike can offer you a reading for Sophie and show you what she does with animal communication. So you can start in terms of show us and talk us through a little bit of how you do what you do, how you connect with animals.
Of course. So right now I'm just going to take a couple deep breaths just to get centered and sending her lots of love, energy. And so now we're definitely connected. And my hands are like this because I'm also doing a little Reiki energy just to connect that way too, to pick up anything in her body. And I'm going to just ask her now if it's okay. And she's saying yes, as long as I don't touch her with it, because she's very sensitive to energy. So right now she's enjoying it, but not too much closer, please. So I respect her boundaries for sure. And so now I'm going to just do a little quick scan of her body, and I'm stopped right away actually with her mouth, and I'm tasting kind of metally taste. And so I just wanted to ask you what's happening with her mouth or gums or.
Yeah, we put her on some medication, which she's not reacted well to, and so I've taken her off the medication, and I'm wondering if it's it gives her a funny taste. I'm thinking.
How long has she been off the medication?
Just since yesterday.
It's still in the body, and she's telling me it also makes her brain part feel strange. So again, if my voice changes a little bit, I'm channeling. So she said it makes it feel a little fuzzy, not as clear. I like to be clear.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you had some questions that
Yes.
you wanted to ask.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So since she hasn't been feeling very well, she has been only eating from my hand. She won't eat from her own bowl, and so I was curious about that. I'm happy to do it, of course.
The bowl, the shape of the bowl, is it a deep?
It's
Like,
in
does
a
she have
stand.
to get into it?
A little bit. It's in a stand, but she certainly does have to bend down.
It depends on when I'm feeling really bad. Sometimes just extra effort, kind of too much for my body. I don't want you to feel sorry for me, though. Is it okay if I keep eating from, she wants to know, I'll just stop so I know what she's asking. You said it's okay to feed her like that? You don't have a problem?
No,
Is
it's
there
fine,
a
yeah.
way we can, I'm just trying to think of a compromise of when you're not there, because maybe you can't feed her from your hand all the time, or can you?
I can.
She becomes dependent on it a little bit.
That's
Yeah,
more my
expects
I'm
concern.
worried
Yeah.
about that.
That's
Yeah.
more
So
my
I'm
concern.
thinking of, they're showing me, her guides are showing me like a different shape bowl, something that's easier, so it's not so much effort. There's something about the effort that is, she said not every time, but when she's not feeling that great. Like
Yeah.
I'm also feeling a little nauseous. Is she having?
I would guess from the medication.
Yeah.
And sometimes she does. I think she's sensitive to things.
Yeah.
But slippery elm seems to help her, if you want to clarify that. But it seems to, and she seems to like it.
Yes. But I'm seeing just maybe something where the food is level, the bowl. Yeah.
That's amazing because, it's really somehow.
It makes sense.
Somehow for me as well, I'll just get her a regular plate, a sandwich plate, and I'll put the food.
Yes.
And somehow, for some reason, when I put it on a human plate, I also don't mix it up. And so
Okay.
she seems to like that as well. So that's amazing because that's what's been happening naturally.
That's better. Yeah. Better. She's
And
saying
that's something
better.
you can do. At least it's not something that's like
Exactly.
outside of your reach.
Right.
So did you have another question?
I was just curious. So when I explained that this is, we were going to be meeting with you today, and do you want to come in the car? And, because she hasn't been feeling so great, I wanted to find out how she felt about that, and, do you want to come? And so she started to cry, but she got up and she didn't want to be left behind. So that's something that she does sometimes, and I'm curious about why she cries when she is saying yes to coming.
That's my way of making sure you understand. Yes.
Okay.
She's making it very clear.
It's kind of like she doesn't want to be left behind.
Well, I was just going to say, there's also that kind of thing, especially, some animals do, just like people, they either like, just leave me alone, or please be around me, please be with me. And she's kind of right now, not kind of, but she would like to be near you.
Oh,
yeah.
So, she started this little cough, and actually I was curious about that. What's she feeling, or what's she needing to do when she does that cough?
Just cough, and then maybe drinking. Has she been drinking water?
Not as much as I thought she would, considering the kind of medicine that she was on.
Yeah, she says sometimes just the whole thing is too much. Okay. But she still wants it. I'm feeling thirsty, actually. Yeah. But,
So it's a dry throat? That's what she's responding when she's doing that little gagging?
It's actually, I'm feeling it more stemming from the tummy.
The acid? Or
yeah. I'm not feeling it here. That's not what I'm feeling on her. I'm feeling more from
I
belly.
can feel it too now that
More
you're tuning into it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all tuning into it.
Yeah, we're all. Let's not all feel nauseous now.
Well, let's go towards the outcome of what we want to feel. But that's the nature of energy, right?
Right. I'm hearing, I know you do energy work, correct? I'm feeling acupuncture for her joints. I'm getting joint stuff. Does she have stuff with her joints?
Yes, she does. She's been diagnosed with spondylosis. I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a kind of arthritis of the spine. And I believe it's around the neck area and around
down
the L.
there. I'm really feeling it down here.
And that's true. That seems to bother her. And in fact, even as we were getting ready to leave here, I've taken to carrying her up and down the stairs. I don't let her.
Thank you.
So she was coming here. She was so determined to not be left behind that she started to come down the stairs by herself, and I heard her slip behind me. So I sat on the stairs to stop her from going any further, and I said, "I'll carry you."
She doesn't like to be apart from you.
No, but where do you pick her up?
I usually just under.
So she wants it closer to, be here, she's saying, not in the middle so much. More.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she wants it more up here, she's saying. She's showing me doing that. Yeah. So acupuncture, some flower essences, Reiki, but, like this kind of Reiki, I think will be really beneficial for her. What about laser? I'm hearing laser. Okay. So maybe the holistic vet that does acupuncture, maybe they do laser as well.
Okay.
And she's saying, my spirit is still fabulous. My spirit is still good.
We know that. We can tell that.
She said, don't, physical things happen. Body changes. Bodies change. She keeps saying. And she said she also, I just got chills. She also knows how to meditate to remove herself from the pain. So if you ever see her where she's not like quite asleep, but she's not like wide awake, like her eyes might be like kind of open, she's meditating. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So she's saying it looks worse than it feels sometimes because she knows how to remove herself from that pain.
She's a little guru.
She
is.
She's really,
and her mommy is a meditation teacher. Also,
no wonder.
She sits
that's why
to
you're
me.
together.
Yeah,
you're a team.
Yeah, we're a team.
She said
So
that.
sweet.
She said that you were a team in another lifetime as well.
Oh.
Many others, many others, many others, more than one. More than one, more than one. Ooh, I'm getting chills.
Andrea, do you have a final question?
I have
a
two.
final
Oh gosh.
message you'd like to receive from Sophie? It's hard to pick
She
one.
has
Yes.
one, but go ahead.
Oh, she does? Okay, go ahead.
Receive more.
She's saying that to me?
Yeah. And
Receive
have more
more.
fun. Play, 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 play more, play more.
Oh.
Sometimes thinking too much.
Right. Yes.
Yes, us humans
all
tend
of
to
us.
do that.
She's so right about that. Mm-hmm.
What
Learn
else
from
do you
her.
have?
She
Yes.
be like this.
Okay, so I'm going home to Australia, and we are together almost all of the time. So I'm going home for Australia for the longest time that I've ever gone home before, and I can't take her with me because, you know, it's impossible.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that she's, you know, comfortable staying here and who she'll be staying with, and
And you've told her
Mhm.
when, how many days?
it'll be 2 months.
Okay.
So, it'll
So
be
that's how many? 60
60 days.
sunrises.
yeah, okay, that's the way.
Yeah, so they know days and sunrises and sunsets. So
Yeah.
let me ask her, how do you want sunrises? She wants to know. Now, a great tool while you're gone is think of her. And when you wake up in the morning, connect with her
Okay.
heart to heart and send a gold cord of light from your heart to hers. And it's like a little 1-800 hello, I love you.
Okay.
And do that before you go to bed.
I will.
Remind her who's coming. Is somebody staying with
She'll
her?
be going to stay with a family.
Okay. So, and she knows them. And
Yeah,
do
she's
they
stayed
have any
with
other
them.
animals?
No.
Okay. So just show her a picture. You'll be with these people. And most important message, show her you coming back in the door
Okay.
to get
That's
her.
good.
That's a great. Is that comforting? Doesn't that help?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie, for what
Thank
you've
you,
communicated.
the
Thank you
Reiki,
both
let me just close her down.
so much for being here, and thank you,
Thank
Sue
you.
Pike, the animal talker,
Thank you.
for all the gifts that you have, and for what you're bringing to the world, and for the way you're helping animals and humans to come together and to heal. So thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Michele.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank
We're wrapping up another enlightening show. Please remember that as spiritual beings, we are all connected. You, me, your pets, all animals, and everyone else. So go out into the world from that lens of connection, and I'm sure it will show up a very different place. Thank you, Monday Morning Flowers, for the beautiful floral arrangement, and thank you for watching. Join me next time on Positive Energy.